PennsylvaniaBeer.com and Bison Beverage of Lewisburg presents Beer Time.
Hi, I'm Scott Bernstein, your host of Beer Time. On the couch, producer Chad Evans.
Great to be here.
And I am here with Tom Webb.
Nice to see you again.
Hey, Tommy. Okay, tell me a little bit, what got you here? What's your resume look like? Your alcohol resume.
Alcohol resume, yeah. We'll leave all the other stuff out of it. But the alcohol resume, let's see. Started making wine in 11th grade.
There you go.
Yeah, my science teacher at New Hope, Salisbury, where I graduated from, with every 11th grade class, he would make wine, but it was more about the science, right? Single cell organism, metabolizes sugar, excretes alcohol.
I grew up with Boone's Farm, $1.46. I'm in.
We had a discussion about Boone's Farm yesterday. Strawberry Hill. I had an old girlfriend. Won't mention her name.
Was her nickname Strawberry Hill?
Strawberry Blonde. Loved Strawberry Hill. I
wasn't
think
far
at
off.
that time, I'd have to, with my fake ID, go over to Lambertville, New Jersey, and I think back then, a bottle of Strawberry Hill was $1.70 some cents, I think, and it always made a great weekend.
Well, you grew up in New Hope, right?
New Hope. Yep, New
Just
Hope,
north of Philly.
Pennsylvania, and right across the river was New Jersey. So when I was young, 856 years ago, the drinking age in New Jersey was 18. Our school was wonderful. They would give us a blank photo ID every year for the high school,
right?
To use like the gym facilities and everything else, and then we would type in our new birth date and laminate it. And then back then, the old driver's license. I shouldn't do this. I mean, is it? Can they still get me for this?
Yeah, I think
No. It's, statute of limitations.
Statute of limitations. Hey, give me a beer.
We would take a pencil eraser and erase this 2 for 1962 and retype in a 0 and then laminate that. And then we had 2 forms of ID. And I think I had like 3 hairs on my chin and a lot of zits. And we were in. And there were a couple bars in the back of Lambertville we would go, and we thought we were big stuff. You know, we'd eat some bad bar food, maybe some pickled pig's feet, throw some darts, right? Some tripe, and play some pool. And
well, here we are. You're in the soda business. What is a hard soda?
yeah. And
Can I have one before
Yes.
you talk about it?
You want one?
I would love a hard soda. Over
Here we
here,
go.
baby.
Hey. There, baby.
Thank you.
All right,
I might as well open one also.
Yeah, we got all grab
Oh,
those.
yeah.
There we go.
I was spilling stuff last time.
Just open it slow since he tossed it. They're carbonated.
Okay, I got a cream soda, hard cream soda. I've been
our-
drinking the hard ginger ale.
Yeah.
You got a hard white birch beer. These are all available at the Bison Beverage, by the way.
Yes, and we brought our new hard cider, which we make there at the winery.
Well, let me tell you something. I had one of these last night. Thank you. And we sell the crap out of these. That's a really good one. So tell me, what is a hard soda? Like, what is the content of a hard soda?
Yeah, the difference between our hard soda and the other hard sodas that are out there, all the other hard sodas are malt-based. So, meaning it is a malt beverage beer with actual syrup or flavoring to make it a soda.
It's technically a beer then.
But not ours. That's where the difference, in the difference, wineries can now sell through beer distributors and everything.
Okay.
But our product has to be 8% or lower, hence the 5.5%. Okay, but all of our sodas are actually wine-based.
Okay.
So this goes back to the wonderful time of COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
And 2020, I guess April 2020, lose track, but that's when they shut down everything, right? The world shut down, the state stores were shut down, everything. So, and we were like rum runners, bootleggers.
I dig
because
that.
we could sell online our wine, and then the customers would come to the winery.
Okay.
And then they would call us. We'd carry it out, put it in their trunk, and they'd take off.
I gotcha.
With their contraband, right? So
Now, let me ask you this. So you can these all right there. So you have a full canning operation.
we have a full canning line.
Now, did you ever, like, when the cans are running along, do the Laverne and Shirley with the glove? I always wanted to do that.
Not with a glove, but we've tried other things. But we won't mention that.
All right. Now,
Just as a joke.
We're just joking.
With the employees. But to get back to where these came from.
Right.
My cousins came up. They were both laid off like everybody else during COVID. He worked for Amtrak. She was in a doctor's office. So she came up with, I guess I can mention it, not your father's root beer, right? Mm-hmm. So
I'm having the white birch beer right now. That is extremely delicious. This is unbelievable.
Cheers.
Really
and then,
to you, man.
So that was a malt-based soda.
Okay.
And so she's like, oh my God, you got to try this. You got to try this. And I tried it and I liked it. But the one thing with all of the malt-based sodas, they have a weird aftertaste. Like the finish on the malt-based sodas it really tastes like a flavored beer. You can pick up the overall flavoring. So, and then anybody who is gluten intolerant can't have them.
But these taste like 8 treats. Remember 8 treats?
Yeah.
They're based out of Reading. And we used to get these 8 treats with the black cherry and the orange and all that kind of stuff. So I love those. And
the difference with ours is we start with, I won't give away the secret, but there's a couple of varieties of grapes that are very neutral. And in the industry, wineries use them as blending grapes, right? Mm-hmm. So in a drought year like this year, certain wines can be like over the top, like overly floral on the nose or overly present, like Moscatos and stuff like that are super intense on the palate. So then we use this grape variety to blend in to kind of bring it down a little bit where it should be. So what's nice is during COVID, my winemaker Dana, right? I went to him and I said, you think we can make a better soda than this? And he tasted the other one and he goes, oh God, yeah. Right. So, but it took us 9 months. Mm-hmm. And the first one was the root beer.
I remember sitting in while you were creating flavors. Like you had like 4 different kinds of, I think it was a grape. Right. And we were drinking and like, hey, Scott, sit in on this. I go, well, okay. Yeah. And we were doing that whole thing. Now, let me ask you this. Spyglass.
Yeah.
You are known for some of the great concerts our region has ever had.
Yes.
What is the future of Spyglass concerts?
Well,
I imagine you get bombarded all the time on this question.
Yeah, and this is we had, let's see, in the history of Spyglass with the Backyard Concert Series, we finished with 110 concerts last year.
Okay.
Coming out of COVID, everything else, the industry, as everybody can tell here, the industry has gone through a massive restructuring. Now, it's dominated by
the big boys.
The big boys. Live Nation, Ticketmaster, right?
Now, what is Live Nation?
Live Nation is a massive promoter, right? And an agency. Sure. They're all over the world.
So they kind of control the concerts.
Yeah, and during COVID, they received, $4.1 billion in COVID relief money, and they were smart to use that.
Right.
So what they did was, a lot of the sheds, not too much the theaters. Theaters survive because they have corporate donors and they're smaller because a theater is like from 1 seat to 1,600 seat. Sheds are like 1,500 to 7,000.
How's that?
The industry called them sheds.
Name?
And that goes, and literally that goes all the way back to the days. We're a shed.
You're a shed.
We're a shed because we can hold up to 7,000 people.
What's the biggest concert you ever had there?
I've
been one that had close to 5.
Oh, yeah, we've been over 6,000.
Okay.
Yeah, ZZ Top.
Huey was a big one, wasn't it?
Huey Lewis was a huge one. Brett Michaels both times, over 6,000. So Pat Benatar and Rick Springfield.
Have you ever had anybody at a Brett concert, like a Brett Michaels concert, just flash her boobies? Come on.
Yeah, out of all the concerts, of course, Brett had the most.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah, and I think the funniest part of Brett Michaels was when one of the patrons I don't know if it was guy or girl, but somewhere along the way, 2 falsies made it up on the stage.
No, really?
Yeah.
That's terrific.
Yeah. And, and Brett loved it.
I bet he did.
And actually signed both of them for us.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And I have one in the house, which is hilarious, with the signed guitar.
Sure.
I have 2 signed guitars.
You have a lot of signed guitars up there at the Spyglass. You must have, 15, 20 of them?
There's 14 hanging.
14 hanging.
In the restaurant.
They're
and then
beautiful.
We rotate them out. And
Okay.
I have another 37 signed guitars.
That's fantastic.
From over the years. So, so to go back to the concerts, even if you look at even Bloomsburg and all the other ones, there's been a kind of a washout as far as, you see a lot of the other venues that are doing a lot of just cover bands and stuff like that because, one, like REO announced, they're no longer going to be on the road. So a lot of our favorite bands that we've been doing from the 80s and everything and the 90s, they kind of all died of heroin. But, sorry.
Chad, jump in, man.
Kevin Cronin's still alive. He didn't die. Kevin Cronin with REO Speedway.
But they just announced 3 days ago.
But a year and a half ago, this is the kind of guy Tom is.
Yeah.
A year and a half ago, he goes, "Hey, what are you doing for dinner?" I go, "I don't know." He says, I got Foghat and George Thorogood. We got a little table on the side up there. Why don't you come up for dinner?" Yeah. And my wife had something to do with her family, and she couldn't make it. So I grabbed my daughter. And next thing you know, we're George Thorogood having dinner. Yeah. And the Foghat guy was really cool.
Roger Earl.
Oh,
actually,
he was super nice.
They're coming. They're playing at Bloomsburg with Bachman Turner Overdrive.
Oh, BTO, yeah.
BTO, right? And Roger and his wife are literally coming to stay with us this weekend.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Great.
So,
well, let me ask you this. Is there any concerts in the horizon?
Yeah, we're already working on next year with Live Nation.
Good.
And I'm here to announce that he is bringing on LL Cool J. Well, did I have that wrong? We were just talking about LL Cool J.
I love LL Cool J.
Yeah. We'll get Tom to bring
I call Paul in the hallway playing them, too.
And Hammer. We're going to go right to Hammer time.
MC Hammer.
MC Hammer.
Jeez, Hammer.
I'm going to wear the baggy pants and everything.
The worst pants ever.
But so it'll resurrect. We took a year off too, as far as concentrating, bringing the restaurant and everything back. And the greatest thing about not having concerts, I think it's made my wife happier because, like she said, she's like, it's just been great having a summer where I don't have to go and get 76 cases of Fiji water, goat cheese from a goat that's been massaged 3 times a day and sung lullabies at bedtime.
Whoa. Goat cheese? Special goat cheese?
Yeah, whatever they want.
You know what's crazy?
What's crazy?
Crazy
is those falsies flying out. That's crazy.
That was a crazy night. I can, believe me, this is why I have no hair. Right here. I can tell you stories that'll,
we'll bring you back. So I'm
gonna write a book.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this. Here's the big question.
But back to the riders, right? So part of the problem with the riders and everything is over the years, almost everything that's in the rider is really for the crew and the personnel. By the time the bands get there, they're like, "Oh, you have a restaurant?"
Right.
Like Blues Traveler, John Popper. This was the greatest, right? Awesome guy, just amazing. And then he grew up in the area where I grew up. He grew up outside New Hope. And so him and I were talking. And same thing with George Thorogood. My band, when I had hair and muscles when I was a kid, we used to play with George Thorogood all through the whole Philly. We played with Cinderella and all that. But so I knew George for years and the guys in the band. And that's how we all had dinner that night. He came in a day early, and then Foghat came in a day early, and we all had dinner, and then celebrated the birthday of the lead singer of Foghat together. But one of the funniest, John Popper, right? He was on a super restrictive diet per his tour manager and everything. So literally it was nothing but salads and kind of.
That's no fun.
Right? So I go into the trailer with the guitar for him to sign, right? And him and I start talking, and he goes, "That's a restaurant on the hill, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "I'll give you $500 if you bring me a medium rare steak," and he goes, as much mashed potatoes as you can put on that plate, and he goes, "and keep that green shit off the plate."
I gotcha.
Meat and potatoes.
And he goes, "You have some rolls and butter and everything." I'm like, "Dude, I gotcha." Right? And he goes, "You cannot let anybody see it. You got to sneak it in." Right? And he goes, "I'm telling you, I'll give you $500. I'm like, "Listen, I own the place. I'll get you the steak. We'll feed you."
Let me go to the shed.
Yeah. So we got my guys hand cut, like the steaks and everything, and made him a super thick steak, medium rare, with cowboy butter, and he was flipping out. It was the best.
Let me ask you this: you were always in the music. Weren't you involved with some of the wine laws that get music into wineries?
Yeah, to go way back, my original schooling and degree is in audio engineering. And then
You were in New York studios and everything.
Yep. And I was in New York for 8.5 years in New York City. Worked in recording studios all through the city. Actually, I was even at that point an assistant engineer on all of Full Force's production, and Lisa and Roxanne, and
the Muppets.
Oh yeah, and the Muppets.
Steve Mitchell. Mitchell, our buddy Than.
Last year we went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and they have the new hip hop thing.
Oh, cool.
And there's an album I worked on, right? The first one with Roxanne, right? And Select Records. So yeah, and then locally.
But with the wines.
Right. So locally, Steve Mitchell, right? Uh-huh. We started having music in the winery, which I had to kind of manipulate. At that time, when I got my license in 1996, I manipulated the bonding of the winery so that, because wineries weren't even allowed to have amplified music.
Yeah, you didn't bond the entire property.
Right, I just bonded the bar
Correct.
and the production area, which everybody else would just carte blanche bond their entire property. So then they couldn't have amplified music, couldn't have open bottles, couldn't sell wine by the glass, none of that. So then Steve, right, because I worked for the Muppets, he comes walking in the day where we had the Mitchell Trio, Steve Mitchell Trio, and he comes in and it's like,
Andy Seal was in that too, I think.
Andy, and Burgess.
I know what you mean. He's a very good musician.
Yeah.
Keyboard guy.
Yep, great days. And he comes walking in, I'm like, oh my God, Steve Mitchell. I'm like, don't I know you? And those were the days that I worked for Henson Associates. I did the post-production and audio sweetening on a lot of the video, Muppet Babies, stuff like that.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, great days. And then the music took off from there.
That's great. You've lived in this area for a while. Do you have a favorite little tavern you like to go to? In the middle of nowhere?
Yeah, what was the one you mentioned earlier?
What?
In Florida? Around here?
McShack's.
You've
been to a McShack's.
yeah.
And the
Panhandle.
I love
That's
McShack's.
the best.
My favorite tiki bar of all time. No question.
I had a drunken night, and I think I was successful that night. It was a good night there.
Hey, McShack's brings the best out in all of us. Well, hey,
local pub?
A local pub, not a Florida pub.
Yeah, of course, Spyglass on the Ridge, right?
I heard of it.
Oh, yeah.
I guess I have to throw that plug in, the restaurant, winery, and then, of course, we carry all Pennsylvania craft beer.
That's right.
And then we're also doing gypsy brewing, which is pretty cool. So on site, everybody...
Gypsy Brewing.
Yeah, Gypsy
Help
Brewing.
me here. What's Gypsy Brewing?
All right, so Gypsy Brewing is, since we own a fully automated 15-barrel brew house, we are now inviting other Pennsylvania breweries to brew on site.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so we had Iron Ridge from Lewistown come in and brew 2 15-barrel batches, and we sold out of it. He took half, and we purchased half, for sale in the winery.
You can it for him too?
He has his own canning line, so he had canned over there, and then he sold it. So the 2 batches of beers that he did an amazing IPA, and then he had also another kind of like a Belgian style big beer. It was just amazing. So, and we sold out of that in about 3 weeks, both beers. And cool. So then we also invited some of our friends from Evergreen, Shy Bear, New Trail. We were talking with Bald Bird, and then even Steve from Selinsgrove.
Yeah.
You know, the original owner and brewer of Selinsgrove. He was in. So
he doesn't have a non-compete?
That ended in July or August.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, that's why.
Cool.
Yeah. So what would be cool is he'll come in, and they'll all be site-specific beers. So like, say if Shy Bear comes in, it'll be a beer that he will make there that you can't get normally, and then he'll feature at his place, and we'll feature at our place, and then that'll be the 2 locations. Same with Evergreen and New Trail.
Yeah, like a straight, like a co-op.
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
kind of like a co-op, and it'll be a cool thing. So because we have all the equipment there, and we have everything to do it.
All right. Well, hey, thank you very much, Tom Webb.
Yeah.
Come by Bison Beverage and get your Spyglass hard sodas. We got them all. It's fantastic.
Wine based.
There you go. I want to thank Beer Time, PennsylvaniaBeer.com and Bison Beverage and Chad Evans over there.
My guy.
Yeah, sorry, Chad. I cut you off a couple times.
Oh no, this is good. I've been drinking your soda.
Yeah, this
which
is awesome.
I launched.
Yeah, the
studio, like it when it went over the camera.
Yeah, the studio is amazing.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Hey, we appreciate it, and peace. I'll see you guys later.
Thanks, guys.
PennsylvaniaBeer.com and Bison Beverage of Lewisburg presents Beer Time.
This podcast was produced by Stone State Entertainment.